Hello and welcome back. I have been praying long and hard on what to say on this most auspicious day, 9/11. To many of us who watched and experienced that tragedy, it remains a daily thought and a daily prayer for all those who suffered under the pain and agony of such a bad day. In all my previous talks, and in both my books, Slow Down and Love, Volume 1 on Self-Enlightenment and Volume 2 on Freedom, I have tried to explain the will or the mandate of the Creator that what goes down goes round, and for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and you actually do reap what you sow, and karma exacts painful retribution at times for conscious evil done for selfish means and for selfish deeds. Hillary's 9/11 collapse is the direct result of the cumulative sins against America and the will of the Creator. She is reaping the pains of evil sown throughout her career. A harsh statement, but a true statement. The mainstream media and those who adore her antics and ways will never ever agree to anything I say or anyone says against her. They are brainwashed, they are Kool-Aid drinkers, they're bitten by the liberal progressive view, they follow Saul Lewinsky, they follow the bad, wrong path, the evil path that our government has been on for a long time, 50, 60, 70 years. And throughout history, to the beginning of time, when politicians first got involved, they have always been greedy and corrupt. I don't care. I've studied it. I've been a history major all my life. I've been a history buff all my life. And throughout history, you see where selfish politicians rule for themselves first and the people last. I was trying to get together originally a way to explain the spiritual revolution that Donald Trump is involved with right now. He doesn't know it. None of us know it. But that pendulum that has been swinging to the left for the last 100 years has finally reached its end. It has reached as far as it's going to go because the people are sick and tired and angry of being pawns of those so-called leaders and so-called rulers and so-called elite minds who believe they know better and know what's best for mankind, and especially for the general folks. That pendulum is now going to swing back with the spiritual truth and the spiritual love that the Creator intended. Jesus summarized it in one simple statement when he said, forget everything else you've learned, forget everything else you've been taught. Believe this one law, that the Lord thy God loves you with all its heart, mind, and soul, and that you in return must reciprocate. You must love yourself. You must love the Creator, and you must love all others as thyself. This is where the breakdown of our society begins. People are so brainwashed and confused, and their thinking and their belief systems have become so distorted, they actually believe that Hillary Clinton is the right person to be President of the United States. But the Creator and the forces of the 9/11 spiritual angels collapsed her today just like the towers did. They exacted that retribution. They were sick and tired of allowing her to say and do what she believed was right and not what was right. It has been 40 years of proven history how she has been a bad person. I don't like to say that about anyone, but our election coming up is the most important crossroads of humanity. We can continue down this pathway of evil and in selfishness and corruption and greed, or we can take a chance on Donald Trump, who I truly believe in his heart of hearts, he wants to do the right thing. My books, my talks always have been about doing the right thing and enjoy doing the right thing. And he comes across as a person to believe that in his heart of hearts, he wants to do the right thing. However, the mainstream media and the distractors and the never-Trumpers and the self-righteous people who disagree with him do and say anything that'll hurt him. And Jesus said, do no harm to others. And Jesus said, do not infringe on the freedoms of others. Similar to our Declaration and Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and our Constitution said that you have the right for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as long as you did not infringe or harm others. Now, the progressives will harm and do and say and divide and create whatever hate-filled statements they can. Just like the Black Lives Matter people, they've lost total sight of what community and equality or equity really is. It's you treat others like you want to be treated. Now, if you're out rioting and protesting and causing harm and damage to other ones, you do not deserve anything that you demand. I guess a good example that right now that everyone's talking about is the disregard so many of our athletes, especially our football players, and I really dislike this since I played football and professional football for 14 years. Every time I heard the national anthem, and every one of the players that I played with, we all saluted it in some way, shape, or form, and it brought a tear to my eye every time because it reminded me how great this country was and how I had the opportunity to be there in front of all these people doing what I love. Now these guys are getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to be selfish and rude to our country and to their fans. They actually are spoiled rotten to the point where they don't really know what they do. I didn't mean to get onto a rant or a rave about this thing, but it really does irritate me that so many young people disrespect our flag and our country in ways that you would never ever have thought of when I was growing up. I was hoping that I'd be able to strike a chord or a thought pattern or someone's heart in the younger world, that they would help me get this word out on the internet and through the tweeters and through the Facebookers and get this thing to the point where people need to understand, and especially the young folks who really are the generation that has the tools now with the internet. Because another thing, liars can lie and they can lie right in your face and you don't even know because the screen separates us. However, the truth will prevail and the truth will come through. And I believe that if you start looking at the people's hearts instead of their words and their minds, and look at their deeds and look at their actions, you will begin to discern and separate the wheat from the chaff. I'm going to really get much more aggressive in my future talks on telling what I believe is right from wrong, why I believe that pro-life is better than pro-death, why I believe that the communities of all races need to work together with one vision, not everyone worrying about their own little piece of action and what they think is wrong with America. Now, I know I might have said a mouthful this time, but this is something I want your help with. I need this word to get out. I need these videos that I've made to get out so people can start looking in their own hearts and find their own self-enlightenment and find their own self-freedom. Because right now The majority of our world and a majority of America is brainwashed and conditioned to believe the wrong thing, and I want you to believe the right thing. So until we meet again, and I really, really mean this with all my heart and soul, Godspeed. Thank you.